Now let's switch over to an old school method of inputting the geometry. So you have dynamic input, which puts the command line at your cursor for most commands in AutoCAD. So if I create a line segment and I want it to be at a particular length or particular angle, this is what dynamic input allows you to do, is cycle between those values. So let's say I wanted to create a center line from the center of that, and I have to create it at 207 degrees. Well, with dynamic input, it measures the angle shortest distance to 0. So when I get over here at 180, as soon as I cross 180, it goes the other way. I can plug in 207. That's fine. If I just plug in 207, it will create the line at 270 degrees. There are a handful of commands that dynamic input can sometimes throw off the picks and clicks. Not many, just a handful. Plus, if your habit is to not have it turned on, this can be a little bit tricky to do something like this. Because with dynamic input turned off, you've lost that feedback. So how do I tell it to go 207 degrees? There's a very old school way of entering that information. First, you're going to start out by saying at, so use the at symbol, and that basically says at my last point. That's going to be the center point. That was the last point I picked. Go whatever units, mine is going to be 10. Then you're going to use the less than symbol, and that says at this angle or angle control. So now if I type in 207, I get that line 10 units long at an angle of 207. That's the old school way before dynamic input was created.